afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the RotoBaller Radio Waiver Wire Series. I'm your host, Anthony Aniano. Happy to be with you as we take a look at the Week 7 Waiver Wire, the week starting Monday, May 10th, at some starting and relief pitchers who can help you get through the next couple of weeks. Guys, don't forget, head over to rotoballer.com and check out everything we have there. The main page, the premium package, the expert chats. You know it, rotoballer.com, the place to be. Whether it's baseball, football, basketball, MMA, esports, NASCAR, PGA, DFS, or season-long formats, rotoballer.com has you covered. Sign up now for any of the premium packages, whether it's baseball to guide you through the rest of the season, or you're preparing for your fantasy football year as the NFL draft has come to a close. Use the promotional code ACES for those premium packages and save yourself a little bit of money along the way. Guys, don't forget as well, right here on the RotoBaller YouTube channel, check out all the great content, including all the waiver wire series, the hitters, the pitchers, and all sorts of great content from the staff at rotoballer.com. All right, everybody, let's take a look at some pitchers who have been terrific over the last 14 days and can potentially help you for the next couple of weeks. And we'll start off with the starting pitchers. I've mentioned him once before a few weeks ago. Time to mention Taijuan Walker of the New York Mets once again. His next start is a nice one, May 12th against the Baltimore Orioles. 44% rostered on Yahoo. A little bit higher than what I usually mention. Try to keep it under 40. 44%, close enough. Over his last 14 days, he's had 20 innings pitched and 16 strikeouts in those 20 innings with a whip of 0.75 and an ERA of 1.80. He's been terrific for the Mets. One bad outing where he walked about 6 batters, but otherwise has been consistent. Okay, on the season now in 34 innings pitched, 35 strikeouts. He's giving you a K per inning. Okay, 25.7% of the batters he's faced, he has struck out. He's walked 11% of those batters. But remember, like I said, one game he had 6 walks, kind of skews that walk number. ERA on the year sits at 2.38. Nothing to sneeze at there. Whip is terrific at 1.03 and a batting average against of only 167. Teams aren't hitting him. He's keeping his ratios down. He's picked up a couple of wins for the Mets. He's been a terrific addition to their team and is useful in 12-team mixed formats for your fantasy baseball team. Anybody with an ERA on the 2.5, with a whip at basically 1, a batting average against under 2, and striking out a batter per inning should be more than 44% rostered on Yahoo. That's just the truth of it. Another starting pitching to keep an eye on, Rich Hill, the ageless Rich Hill, 41 years old. Now, I don't love his next matchup, May 13th against the Yankees, so be aware of that. And on the season, I get it. You look big season, he has an ERA over 5, 5.17. But be mindful, in the season, at that same time frame, his FIP is at 357, so pitching to some rough luck. But over his last 14 days, which is 15 innings pitched, he has 18 strikeouts, an ERA of 1.20, and a whip of 0.67. Now, we know the issues with Rich Hill. He's 41. Every year he's on the injury list. We know this. Tampa Bay knows this when they signed him. But when you get Rich Hill, you usually get a pretty good outing. He's got 32 strikeouts in 31 innings on the year. Another strikeout per inning guy. 25% of the batters he faces. A walk rate of 7.8% of the batters he's faced. And a batting average against of 217, which is a low batting average against as well. Whip is good, 1.12. Don't be scared away by that season-long ERA. He's pitched better of late, and that FIP tells you that ERA is partially bad luck. Robbie Ray of the Toronto Blue Jays. Next start, May 11th against the Atlanta Braves. 41% rostered. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention Rich Hill, only 8% rostered. He's a freebie. Robbie Ray, 41% rostered from the Toronto Blue Jays and arguably having the best season of his career right now. Over the last 14 days, Robbie Ray, 18 2/3 innings, 23 strikeouts, what we expect from him, an ERA of 3.86, and a whip of 0.91. Now, that's a number to be mindful of. That whip of 0.91, because that tells you Robbie Ray is not walking batters. He's never been easy to hit. Walks have been his issue. Batting average against on the season for Robbie Ray is at 224. In 28 and 2/3 innings this season, remember, started the season on the injured list. In 28 and 2/3 innings this season, he has 29 strikeouts, 25% of the batters he faced. His ERA on the season is at 3.14, and his whip for the season is at 1.15. Okay? Now, here's where I have hope for Robbie Ray. He's only walking 7.8% of the batters he faced. Put this in a per 9 inning situation. His career walks per 9 innings. Last season was over 7 in the shortened season. It was atrocious. His career walks per 9 innings is 4.24. Way too high a number for my liking. Okay, I usually like it 3 or less. He was over 4 per 9 for his career. This season, he's only walking 2.8% batters per 9 innings. A significant drop, which has led to a lower whip, okay? Which has led to a lower ERA. Batting average against is still good at only 224, okay? But Robbie Ray arguably pitching the best baseball of his career right now. On May 11th, on the road in Atlanta, Robbie Ray, 41% rostered on Yahoo. This next pitcher is probably the one I'm most excited about. 12% rostered. Adbert Alzolay of the Chicago Cubs. Great matchup next week, May 12th against Cleveland, who just got no hit by Wade Miley of all people, right? 12% rostered, okay? Alzolay, over his last 14 days, 15 and 2/3 innings, 20 strikeouts, an ERA of 3.45 in that 14-day period, and a whip of 0.83. On the season, he's got 30 strikeouts in 26 innings. 30% of the batters he has faced, he has sat down via strikeout. Only walking 7% of the batters he faces. Now his ERA sits at 4.50. Okay, one bad outing, one bad inning, and out of 26 will do that. But his whip is exceptional at 0.88. His batting average against is dominant at .174. So understand, don't be scared away of that ERA on the wrong side of 4. You're getting a ton of strikeouts. You're getting a pitcher who's difficult to hit against for the Chicago Cubs in Alzolay. And a good matchup May 12th. A must-start stream at the very least against the Cleveland Indians. Okay? Shane McClanahan of the Tampa Bay Rays. Another Rays pitcher. You'll see 3 of them today by the time we're all said and done. Okay? Next start May 9th against the Oakland Athletics. 26% roster. Now, here's the issue. People are all talking about him. Okay, Major League Baseball sample size is very, very small. He's had 2 starts, and Tampa's only let him go 4 innings, both starts. He's got 10 strikeouts in those 8 innings, 32% of the batters he faces. Opposing hitters are hitting .241 against him. I feel the need to mention him, but I'm always a little scared with a young pitcher with Tampa Bay because of the way they limit the innings. All right, we saw him do it with Blake Snell in the biggest game of their franchise history last season with Blake Snell, okay? You're never going to get deep with a Tampa Bay starter, unless it's Glasnow right now, right? So McClanahan, he may end up being nothing more than 5 innings all year, which will limit strikeout and everything else. People are excited about him. Young kid, top prospect, throws hard, all of that fun stuff. However, limited innings means limited Ks, so be mindful of that with McClanahan. My final starting pitcher, don't love it, but if you got a dollar bid, go for it. John Gant of the St. Louis Cardinals. Okay, next start is also May 12th against the Milwaukee Brewers. 14% rostered. Now, over his last 14 days, he's pitching to a 1.17 ERA, but unlike Alzolay, whose whip is dominant, or Robbie Ray, whose whip's been terrific, John Gant is walking a ton of batters, so be mindful of that. His ERA looks good, but the whip and the xFIP, they don't look as good, so just be aware. Pitches to a 1.57 whip, okay? 12 strikeouts in his last 15 and a third innings. On the season, 29 and a third innings, 25 strikeouts. You could say, okay, not bad. 18.7% of the batters he faces. ERA is terrific, 2.15, okay? But the whip is 1.7. That's high. That's a high whip, okay? Now, batting average against .239. Why is the whip so high? Guys, he's striking out 18.7% of the batters he faces. He is walking 17.9% of the batters he faces. He's pitching to some good luck right now, is John Gant. I have him as a dollar player in some hot new formats. I'm not going to lie to you about that. But I am not investing heavily in some fab on John Gant, okay, if he's continuing to walk batters like he's Robbie Ray of last season. I just can't do that. So when I look at the starting pitchers, Alzolay sits at number 1 for me. He's just been terrific. Taijuan Walker 2, Robbie Ray 3, Rich Hill 4, McClanahan, but you know you're going to get limited innings, okay, and then John Gant. Now, if I need to look at a few relievers for potential save opportunities down the road and to keep ratios down, I got 3 for you here. Luis Patino of the Tampa Bay Rays, 13% roster, just came off the injured list. His season numbers are the same as his last 14. Okay, he's given up only 3 hits in 7 2/3 innings so far this season, 10 strikeouts in 7 2/3, striking out 37% of the batters he faces and walking less than 4%, only 3.7. He backed up McClanahan. McClanahan went 4 and then Patino went 3 in the last start. Okay, and you can argue Pantino pitched better than McClanahan did in that start. ERA sits at 1.17. WHIP is minuscule at 0.52, and he's essentially unhittable with a 1.15 batting average against. The veteran, Yusmeiro Petit of the Oakland Athletics. He did pick up a save over the last 14 days, but remember, they still have Trevino and Diekman. Those are the 2 primary closers there in Oakland. But Petit is another pitcher who's pitching terrific, 36 years old, okay? He has not given up an earned run over his last 7 innings, 5 strikeouts over his last 7, okay? Did pick up that save. WHIP sits at 0.71. On the season, 11 1/3 innings, 19 1/3 innings, 12 strikeouts, an ERA of 0.93, 203 batting average against. Petit is 29% rostered, okay? Patino at 13% rostered. And finally, my New York Mets. Guys, if you watch Edwin Diaz, you know how inconsistently bad he is. Let's just be honest, all right? He gave up 4 runs. The Mets held on. Rhys Hoskins hit the top of the fence that whole game. And then his next outing, he did give up 2 hits, but held on for the save. But Trevor May, the 8th inning guy for the Mets, especially with Seth Lugo out, has been lights out. And if you have Edwin Diaz, you may need to hedge your bets there with Trevor May. 12% rostered. Over his last 6 innings, no earned runs, a WHIP of 0.33, and 8 strikeouts over the last 6. Over on the season, 11 1/3 innings, 16 Ks. He's striking out 36.4% of the batters he faces and only walking 4.5%. Opposing hitters are hitting .214 against him, and his ERA sits at 1.59. Trevor May has been lights out for the Mets of late and could be the next in line for saves if Edwin Diaz continues to struggle. All right, everybody. Don't forget, head over to rotoballer.com and check out all the great content there. Sign up for that premium package using the promotional code ACES. Follow me on Twitter at @Aniano Fantasy, and we'll see you next time right here on the RotoBaller Waiver Wire series. Stay smart, stay safe. Have a good one, folks.